Hi guys, this is lesson 8.7, Parallel and Perpendicular Lines. The lines or line segments in these pairs are parallel. The lines or line segments in these pairs are not parallel. So what do you think it means for two lines to be parallel? Parallel lines are lines in a plane that are always the same distance apart. Parallel lines or line segments never meet. In the figure, lines AB and CD, even if extended, will never ever meet. So we call those lines parallel. We would write line AB is parallel to CD. So here's how we would write line. And then if they're parallel, there's my symbol. And I'm saying it's parallel to line CD. Lines AD and BC are also parallel. So here's line AD and here is line BC. So we would write it like this. AD is parallel to BC. So we also have intersecting lines that cross at exactly one point. Intersecting lines that form right angles are special and we call them perpendicular. In the figure, lines AD and AB are perpendicular. So let me show you that. So AD is perpendicular to AB. We can see that they form right angles. So we would write it like this. Line AD is perpendicular. Here's our symbol for perpendicular to line AB. Lines BC and CD are also perpendicular. We would write it like this. The figure has one pair of parallel line segments. Select the line segments that are parallel. So I see line HE and I see line GF. So I would write it like this. Line HE is parallel to line GF. Name two sets of line segments that are perpendicular. Okay, perpendicular, we're forming right angles. So I see MN. Here's my symbol for perpendicular, and that is parallel to PQ. So that would be my two sets of line segments that are perpendicular. So tell whether this pair of lines is parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Well, they would be perpendicular because they intersect at one point and they form right angles. Tell whether this pair of lines is parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Well, these would be parallel because they will never ever intersect. They are the exact same distance apart. Use the map. On Wednesday, Dell leaves his house and walks west along Lincoln Street. Okay, never eat shredded wheat. And he's gonna walk this way on Lincoln. Gigi leaves her house and walks east along Jefferson. Okay, here's Gigi's house, and she's walking east on Jefferson. What kind of lines are Lincoln and Jefferson Street? Well, if I look at the streets, oh, those would be parallel because they are never ever going to intersect. Use the map. Oh, we already did this one. Oh, no, we didn't. Okay, this is different. Now we're talking about Friday. So on Friday, Dell leaves his house and walks south on 5th Street. Okay. And Gigi leaves her house and walks east along Jefferson. Oh. So what kind of lines are 5th Street and Jefferson? Well, they're not parallel because they intersect right here. So I also notice they're forming right angles. So these lines are going to be perpendicular. Okay, draw and label the figure described. Line MN and PQ intersecting at point R. So they're intersecting, they're not perpendicular. So, oh, and they're not line segments, they're just lines. So this could be MN, and we could have PQ. They're intersecting, so I know that they're not parallel. And they're intersecting at point R. Okay, let's look at the next one. WX, is parallel to YZ. So parallel, they never ever intersect. WX, YZ. And our last one, line FH, here's our symbol for perpendicular, to JK. Perpendicular forms right angles. I need to label my points. And JK. All right, guys, so today we learned about intersecting, parallel, and perpendicular lines.